What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Talk. Today, let's get started with our first news. The MMA community was thrown into frenzy this weekend after what appeared to be a major fight announcement briefly surfaced online. On Saturday, the official X account for UFC Brazil posted a message claiming that a blockbuster lightweight matchup between former champions Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira had been finalized for UFC 324, scheduled for January 24th in Las Vegas, Nevada. According to the now-deleted post, the bout was set to be contested for the fan-favorite BMF title, adding even more hype to an already loaded event. Although the announcement remained online only for a short time, it was more than enough to set social media ablaze. Fans immediately began sharing screenshots, debating potential outcomes, and speculating about how such a matchup would affect the lightweight landscape. Considering the popularity of both Holloway and Oliveira, two of the most respected and action-oriented fighters in UFC history, the idea of a rematch for the BMF belt captivated the community instantly. However, the excitement was short-lived. According to a report from Bloody Elbow, the alleged fight announcement was not an intentional reveal but instead the result of a significant internal miscommunication. Sources told the outlet that while early matchmaking discussions within the UFC did include a potential Holloway vs Oliveira rematch, the idea had been shelved long before any public announcement was meant to be made. The premature post appears to have stemmed from outdated internal materials being mistakenly published on UFC Brazil's social media platform. Once the error was realized, the post was quickly removed, but by then, the MMA world had already taken notice. Many fans reacted with disappointment after learning that the fight was not actually being added to the UFC 324 lineup, while others criticized the organization's communication process. Although the matchup is not currently planned, the leak has reignited fan interest in the possibility of Holloway and Oliveira meeting again inside the octagon. With both fighters remaining active and in top form, a rematch, especially for the BMF title, could still be a major draw if the UFC ever chooses to revisit it in the future. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Arman Tsarukyan has finally opened up about the UFC title picture, and according to him, none of the recent developments came as a surprise. In a conversation with ESPN MMA's Brett Okamoto, Tsarukyan revealed that he had been aware of the UFC's intentions nearly 4 months before the official announcements were made. The lightweight contender explained that the promotion had already signaled internally that Paddy Pimblett was being positioned for a major opportunity, primarily because the UFC viewed a Paddy title fight as a far bigger commercial draw than a matchup involving Tsarukyan, Ilia Topuria, or even Justin Gaethje. Tsarukyan stated that he originally knew Pimblett would be fighting Ilia Topuria in January, but what he didn't expect was the decision to create an interim title bout featuring Gaethje and Pimblett. He explained that the UFC had quietly laid the groundwork for this direction months ago, long before fans or fighters noticed the shift. According to him, this wasn't a matter of merit or rankings, it was strategic business. The UFC wanted to elevate Pimblett into a global star by putting him in high-profile matchups, especially alongside big names like Topuria. He noted that managers and insiders were already aware that the UFC wanted Pimblett involved in a marquee fight, even suggesting that executives had told him directly to stay ready, implying the organization knew Tsarukyan posed a serious threat to anyone in the division. He believes this is exactly why he was bypassed for the interim title opportunity. Despite the setback, Tsarukyan remains confident that he will eventually face Topuria. He made it clear that unless Topuria retires, that fight is inevitable, and defeating him remains one of Tsarukyan's biggest career goals. He also addressed the heated moment between them, the slap incident, calling it unprofessional and insisting that Topuria only embarrassed himself with the outburst. In an unexpected turn, Tsarukyan even offered to help Gaethje prepare for his upcoming fight with Pimblett, saying he wants Gaethje to stay disciplined, focused, and fully committed. Tsarukyan didn't hide his hostility toward Pimblett, making it clear that he wants to see him lose and is willing to contribute to Gaethje's camp if needed. Through it all, Tsarukyan remains patient, determined, and confident that his own path to UFC gold is only a matter of time. Move on to another news. Former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman has officially kicked off his training camp, signaling that he is preparing for a major return to the octagon. While no bout has been formally announced, past, Usman has made it clear that his goal is nothing less than a championship opportunity. The fighter he wants stands at the top of one of the toughest divisions in the UFC, newly crowned lightweight king, Islam Makhachev. Both Usman and Makhachev have previously expressed mutual interest in facing one another, creating early excitement among fans and analysts. Usman sees the matchup as an opportunity to reclaim championship glory while testing himself against one of the most dominant fighters of this generation. Makhachev, who has built a reputation as a near unstoppable force with elite grappling and rapidly improving striking, would present a unique challenge, and Usman seems more motivated than ever to meet it head-on. In a recent social media post, Usman shared a brief clip from his early preparations. While the footage did not reveal too much, it was enough to show that he is already sharpening his tools and pushing himself through high-intensity training. The video showcased glimpses of his conditioning work, movement drills, and early strategy sessions, signs that he is not simply staying active, but truly gearing up for something big. Usman's desire to face Makhachev has generated considerable debate within the MMA community. Many fans wonder how Usman's world-class wrestling and championship experience would match up against Makhachev's suffocating grappling style. Others point out that Usman has long expressed interest in pursuing a second belt, and a fight with Makhachev could be one of the biggest cross-divisional matchups in recent years. Although nothing is officially confirmed, the fact that Usman has already begun a structured training camp suggests that he is anticipating a major announcement soon. Whether it results in a title shot, a high-profile contender fight, or a potential super fight with Makhachev, one thing is unmistakable: Kamaru Usman is preparing for a return worthy of championship stakes. Move on to another news. Top welterweight contender Sean Brady isn't holding back when it comes to the current title picture. Speaking on the Brady Bag Show, Brady made it clear that he believes former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman is the least deserving fighter in the division to receive a title shot right now. His comments come as rumors circulate about Usman potentially being pushed toward a championship opportunity, something Brady strongly disagrees with. According to Brady, the idea of Usman being considered for a title shot has less to do with merit and more to do with influence behind the scenes. He pointed out that both Usman and the reigning champion, Islam Makhachev, share the same manager. In his view, the two camps seem to be working together to build momentum for a fight that benefits them financially and politically rather than respecting the competitive order of the division. Brady called the situation BS, saying it feels like certain people are being maneuvered into title contention for reasons unrelated to merit. Brady instead argued that the fighter most deserving of a title shot is Michael Morales, the undefeated rising star who handed Brady a tough loss at UFC 322. Morales is now 19-0 and defeated Brady when Brady was the division's #1 contender. For Brady, that victory alone puts Morales ahead of everyone else in the race for the next shot at gold. He also mentioned that another top contender, whom he referred to as Protest, is similarly ahead of Usman based on recent performances and activity. He stressed that several contenders have been grinding, fighting regularly, and earning their way up, while others, like Shavkat Rakhmonov, need to get active again before re-entering the title conversation. Brady believes the division should reward consistency, momentum, and merit, not popularity or managerial relationships. When discussing Ian Gary's potential rise with another win, Brady said he doesn't expect Gary to leapfrog into the #1 slot but believes he could move into the top 3 or 4. He expects Morales to move up to #2, with Gary likely settling just below him. For Brady, the message is simple: the title picture should be determined by results, not politics. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev's historic rise continues to be celebrated in grand fashion. Fresh off securing his place in UFC history as a 2-division world champion, Makhachev returned to his homeland of Dagestan, where he received a hero's welcome from fans, local officials, and members of the community who have supported him since the beginning of his career. Among the many gestures of appreciation, one stood out above the rest: the presentation of a brand new Land Rover Defender in recognition of his incredible achievements. The moment captured widespread attention across social platforms, with videos showing Makhachev being handed the keys to the luxury vehicle shortly after arriving home. The gift symbolizes not just appreciation for his victories inside the octagon, but the pride he brings to Dagestan and the entire region each time he competes on the global stage. For many back home, Makhachev is more than a champion. He is a role model who represents discipline, humility, and excellence. Makhachev's latest accomplishment, becoming a dual-weight UFC champion, has elevated him into a category reserved for only a handful of fighters in the sport's history. His ability to dominate opponents with elite grappling, suffocating pressure, and continually improving striking has earned him widespread respect worldwide. In Dagestan, however, his success resonates even more deeply. For the people there, each victory is shared, celebrated, and carried with immense pride. Upon receiving the Land Rover Defender, Makhachev appeared humbled rather than boastful, expressing gratitude to the people who have supported him from day one. Those present described an atmosphere filled with excitement and admiration, not only for his championship triumphs but for the way he represents Dagestan globally. His return home has become a tradition of celebration after every major milestone, and this one, marking his ascent into two-division greatness, was especially meaningful. The gesture reflects the immense respect Makhachev commands as both an athlete and a cultural figure. With his legacy continuing to grow, Dagestan stands firmly behind its champion, showing appreciation in a way that matches the magnitude of his accomplishments. For Makhachev, the Defender is more than a luxury gift, it is a symbol of home, loyalty, and the pride of an entire region. Move on to another news. UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira found himself at the center of a heated online debate after a sparring clip surfaced over the weekend. The video, which quickly went viral across social media platforms, shows Pereira engaging in an intense sparring session before landing a series of heavy strikes that culminated in a brutal knockout of his training partner. The knockout came via Pereira's signature left hook, a punch that has ended multiple high-level fights inside the octagon. In the footage, Pereira can be seen pressing forward, throwing powerful combinations. After landing a clean right hand, he follows up with a devastating left hook square to the chin, instantly dropping his partner. The clip also captures onlookers reacting in shock as the sparring partner collapses. While some fans defended the champion's aggressive training style, a large portion of the MMA community expressed disappointment, criticizing the severity of the sparring and the decision to post the footage publicly. One fan commented, "Knocking out your sparring partner is trashy. Recording and posting it is scumbag behavior. I love Alex, but posting this is unnecessary. People were already upset at Strickland for hurting his partners." Another fan echoed similar frustration, writing, "Coing your sparring partners and then sharing it online is trashy and scummy. You're better than this. Is that even sparring anymore?" Many questioned the ethics behind going full power against a defenseless partner, arguing that training is meant to help teammates improve, not to create highlight reel knockouts at their expense. Others pointed out that Pereira is known for his power and precision, making it even more important for him to control his shots during practice. The clip also featured another sparring session with 6 feet 7 inches heavyweight Robulas Despaigne, who is known for his knockout power. In that exchange, the two men traded heavy blows, though both appeared more evenly matched in size and intensity. For now, Pereira has not issued a public statement addressing the criticism. However, the incident has reignited a long-standing debate within the MMA community about the balance between hard sparring and fighter safety, as well as the appropriateness of sharing such footage online. Move on to another news. UFC star Ilia Topuria is facing one of the most challenging chapters of his life as he becomes entangled in a high-stakes divorce and custody battle that could significantly impact his future inside and outside the octagon. The 28-year-old Georgian champion, who rapidly rose to global stardom, is now navigating legal troubles that Spanish media are calling one of the most serious personal disputes involving a UFC fighter in recent years. Topuria married Georgina Burdell in 2022, and the couple share 2 young children, a son and a daughter. Their once private relationship has now become the center of public attention after reports surfaced that Burdell is seeking 50% of Topuria's estimated $10-15 million net worth. This valuation includes his UFC fight purses, international endorsements, sponsorship deals, and other revenue streams accumulated during his rapid climb in the sport. The situation escalated further when allegations emerged claiming Topuria had exchanged messages with other women. Burdell is reportedly using these interactions in court to strengthen her claim for primary custody, which could have long-term implications for Topuria's parental rights. While none of these allegations have been legally proven, they have intensified the already heated battle between the two. The timing of this legal turmoil could not be worse for Topuria's career. On November 27, he announced that he would step aside temporarily to prioritize his children and resolve the ongoing legal issues. By doing so, he also ensured that the UFC lightweight division would not be put on hold, effectively clearing clearing the path for Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett to compete for the interim lightweight title at UFC 324 in January. Despite the chaos surrounding his personal life, Topuria has received overwhelming support from the MMA community. Fellow fighters, including former champion Max Holloway, have publicly expressed solidarity and offered words of encouragement as he works through this difficult period. Topuria has remained mostly silent, speaking only once through a short tweet and a brief interview with a Georgian journalist weeks ago, where he acknowledged the divorce but refrained from revealing specifics about the lawsuit. As both his professional and personal worlds collide, fans are watching closely to see how Ilia Topuria balances the pressures of the cage with the battles unfolding in the courtroom.